City Council regular meeting. We're calling the meeting to order. This is in Mon County Commission Chambers, 243 High Street. It's Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. It's a little bit after 7 p.m. And I'd like to ask the clerk if she would please call the roll.
Yes. Deputy Mayor Abu Ghanem,
Present.
Bill Kawecki,
Here.
Weezy Michael,
Here.
Danielle Trumbull,
Here.
Dave Harshbarger,
Here.
Brian Butcher,
Here.
Mayor Celine.
Here. And did get Councilor Kawecki?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Now we're gonna stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to have approval of the minutes. There are 3 sets of minutes this evening: August 29th, 2023 regular meeting minutes, September 5th, 2023 special meeting minutes, and September 5th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Does anybody have any corrections or comments on those? Otherwise, we would approve through acclamation. Yes?
Yep.
All right. We do not have any correspondence unless someone has something they wanna, then we're on to public hearings. There's 3 public hearings this evening: an ordinance authorizing an agreement regarding Cypress Street and providing for establishment of Cypress Street in the city street system. So we're gonna open this public hearing, and then, if there's anyone wishing to speak, I don't see anyone, so we are gonna close this public hearing, and then there's an ordinance providing for establishment of Alley H in the city street system. We're gonna open this public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak? I don't see anyone, so we are gonna close this public hearing. Item C, an ordinance amending Articles 523 entitled Litter, 1139 entitled Solid Waste Collection, and 1145 entitled Weeds and Noxious Materials. We're gonna open this public hearing. I don't see anyone wishing to speak. We're gonna close this public hearing. Item D, an ordinance amending section 15505 of the city code, providing for furnishing of bond by members of the parking authority. We're gonna open this public hearing. And I'm not seeing anyone wishing to speak. We're gonna close this public hearing, and now unfinished business. Item A, consideration of approval of a second reading of an ordinance providing for establishment of Alley H in the street system. The first reading was 8/29/2023. Is there, let's see. I would like a motion, and then we're gonna talk through what happens next. So,
Move to approve? Is
Pardon?
that- Are we looking for a motion to approve? Move to-
motion to approve, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna possibly make a
Move to
change.
approve.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Okay, and then, if, our attorney or our, manager wants to speak on this,
Yeah,
and
this,
then we're probably might be wanting to make a change in the name.
sure. This is an alleyway that's, I think it's off Morgan Street, isn't it, yeah.
Between Morgan and Overhill.
Yeah, and it cuts all the way through and ties the 2 parallel streets together and allows the neighborhood a safe walkway through that area. And city staff has already gone through and cleaned that out, and I think it looks really good. So I've received some good comments from the residents in that area, and so it's certainly our recommendation that it be accepted.
Okay, so we've had a motion, and then we're probably wanting to have an amendment to possibly change the name.
Yeah,
And you might be wanting to make that amendment.
I would like to, yes.
So you would just amend it with the name that, that your neighborhood has talked about.
So, as much as I appreciate you, Brian, that you asked to just call Wheezy's, I really wasn't comfortable with that, but I do appreciate that. So we came up with the name, and some of our community, we like the name Lavender Way. So I think, I appreciate the suggestion, but we're gonna go with Lavender.
So,
Make a motion.
there's a first here for an amendment to be Lavender Way instead of L-E-H,
Mm-hmm, Ally H, yeah.
L-E-H, yeah.
Second?
Great. And, so we would first, yes,
Just a comment that the name had to be approved through the 911 system, and it was vetted and was approved, so that's all been taken care of.
Great.
Thank you.
Alright. Thank you. So we've had a first and a second on the amendment. So if we could call the roll on the amendment to change from Ally H to Lavender Way.
Yes. Deputy Mayor Bugonum,
Yes?
Bill Kolecki,
You're muted.
Wheezy Michael,
Yes.
Danielle Trumbull,
Yes.
Dave Harshbarger,
Yes.
Brian Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Celine.
Yes, passes unanimously. And now we are on to boards and commissions. Aren't we on to the
Yeah,
original
we have
motion?
to approve the.
Yeah,
Oh.
original.
We're on to the original motion, thank you. Rein me in here. All right. So, is there any more comments on this relative to the main motion?
I think Wheezy Way is a better name.
I appreciate that. It rhymed at least.
All right.
No, just great.
Appreciate it. All right, then let's vote on the main motion, thank you.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Bugonum,
Yes.
Bill Kolecki,
Yes.
Wheezy Michael,
Yes.
Danielle Trumbull,
Yes.
Dave Harshbarger,
Yes.
Brian Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Celine.
Yes. Now the main motion passes unanimously, and now we're on to boards and commissions, and I believe we have one appointment for this evening.
Mayor, I move to appoint Samira Abu Ghanem as the newest member of the Woodburn Commission.
Second.
Thank you. So by acclamation.
I can't,
Yeah.
what is it called?
Oh, you'd like to abstain?
I have to, yes, if I would,
Yes,
please.
please. One abstention on the end. All right. Everybody else is good? So now we're on to the public portion, which shall be subject to rules established by council and adopted by resolution. And I am not seeing members of the public here wishing to speak, but we will open the session anyway and see if there's anyone interested in speaking. I do not see anyone, so we are going to shut this one. And now we're on to the consent agenda. So the consent agenda, we vote up or down on the entirety of it. And so we will go through and read it, and then we can have a motion on it. And if someone wants to pull something off of it for further discussion, they can. Otherwise, it just keeps going as is as far as voting goes. Consideration of approval of a second reading of an ordinance authorizing agreement regarding Cypress Street and providing for establishment of Cypress Street, the city street system. The first reading was 8/29/2023. Item B is consideration of approval of a second reading of an ordinance amending Articles 523 entitled Litter, 1139 entitled Solid Waste Collection, and 1145 entitled Weeds and Noxious Materials. The first reading was 9/5/2023. Consideration of approval of second reading of an ordinance amending Section 155.05 of the city code, providing for furnishing of bonds, bond by members of the parking authority. The first reading was 9/5/2023. And is there a motion to approve the entire consent
I
agenda?
move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second? Thank you. Then we'll just wait for 1 second. And then we'll ask the clerk if she would please call the roll.
Yes. Deputy Mayor Buganim?
Yes.
Bill Kowicki?
Yes.
Wheezy Michael?
Yes.
Danielle Trumbull?
Yes?
Dave Harshbarger?
Yes.
Brian Butcher?
Yes.
Mayor Celine?
Yes, passes unanimously. Now we're on to new business. The first item is consideration of approval of a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the Mon County Commission for Animal Control Services. Is there, okay, our city manager is gonna speak on this.
Certainly, most municipalities have animal control services to help address the prevalence of nuisances among our animal population. And the city of Morgantown has historically contracted with the Monongalia County to provide that service. And the authorization is simply to continue the agreement that we currently have, which will take effect September 30th, and will continue for a year. The total amount, or total cost for dog warden is $34,743. We can also choose, once that new contract is expired, to automatically renew the contract for at a cost of 3% increase to address inflation costs. Let me just share with you a couple of primary duties that they have. One is that the employee or the dog warden will respond to calls for assistance regarding domesticated animals within the city, in which a resident may feel threatened by said animal. Also, will respond to calls regarding small dead animals within the public rights of way within the city and on private property to dispose of such animals. And finally, among other things, talking about reporting and accountability, but the employee or the dog warden will also issue citations for violations of the city's animal ordinance, and will be available to testify in the municipal court on such cases. Oftentimes, and it's been my experience, that if there are certain key areas that the city often gets municipalities across the country get complaints. One is animal control, and our inability to do that as municipal officers. Frankly, since I've been here, we've gotten calls, but I've never received a complaint about the services that have been provided. And so it's our recommendation that this agreement, that we enter into an agreement to extend this contract for another year.
Is there anyone, well, let's have a motion.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Is there anyone that has any questions or concerns about this?
This is an extension, right, of the services we've already been provided.
Yep.
Because I speak highly on it. I'm right near White Park, and we've had to make multiple calls, and they're very quick to respond, so.
I understand, do we pay by the amount of time that we use? Is that
Yes.
an interesting way to?
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Counselor?
I didn't remember and this is probably just, since we voted on it last year. I didn't remember that they were responsible for removing dead animals in the right
Small,
way.
it says small.
What do they consider small?
I
Like
don't think
a
they
tiny
consider
dog,
a deer,
large
for
dog, a
instance.
deer?
Not deer.
No deer, but I think we're talking raccoons
Okay.
and small domesticated animals.
I have definitely had a question or two about that in my time and didn't realize that that was the dog
Yeah.
warden.
Okay. Is there anyone else that has, okay, if you would please call the roll.
Yes. Deputy Mayor Abu Ghanem,
Yes.
Bill Kolecki,
Yes.
Wheezy Michael,
Yes.
Danielle Trumbull,
Yes?
Dave Harshbarger,
Yes.
Brian Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Celine.
Yes. Passes unanimously. Second item is consideration of approval of a resolution authorizing application for the governor's highway safety program grant. And if our manager would explain this a little bit
Be
further?
glad to do that, Mayor. Thank you. This is a safety and grant program that the city has entered into with the West Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles for a number of years. And it's primarily geared towards trying to help reduce accidents and accidents within the vehicular accidents and pedestrian accidents, as well as trying to control other kind. Well, let me go into a little bit more detail, maybe for the public. You've read some of these already, but the intent is to help reduce alcohol-related crashes, accidents, and fatalities. Also to reduce total crashes, injuries, and fatalities in Mon County. It is also intended to reduce pedestrian fatalities, in addition to total of ejections and fatal ejections within Mon County. And finally, to reduce crashes involving drivers 20 years of age and under. The terms of the highway safety grant, we have reporting requirements, but the state will provide a total of $10,000 to help support and sustain this program for this year.
Great. All right,
Move to approve?
thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions about this particular grant?
Is this funding like an education and outreach program or?
No, it's actual employees providing a service, whether it's alcohol checkpoints,
Okay.
as well as really targeted enforcement of seatbelt laws and other kinds of laws that are related to passenger, vehicular, and pedestrian.
Okay.
Any other questions? The clerk will please call the roll.
Yes. Deputy Mayor Abu Ghanem,
Yes.
Bill Kolecki,
Yes.
Wheezy Michael,
Yes.
Danielle Trumbull,
Yes?
Dave Harshbarger,
Yes.
Brian Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Celine.
Yes, passes unanimously. Fire and Police Pension Fund Annual Report. Our Finance Director, Kevin Tennant.
Good evening, council. This is, excuse me, this is for the activity and balances of the 2022 and 2023 police and fire pension funds. This report is required by the Municipal Pension Oversight Board. Just to give you all an update, activities for the year, and it'll also allow us to file for the state funding for those two pension plans. The upcoming state share for the police is $737,000, and the fire share of the state funding is $690,530. The majority of the data that I'm about to rattle off was provided by the investment advisors for the funds. First, the police. Their sources and income include employee contributions of $463,332, city contribution of $1,314,699, the state share of the state surcharge tax, $647,136. And happy to report that investment earnings and market gains for this year was $1,268,215, much better than prior year. So the total increases for the police pension was $3,693,382. Now the expenses and outflows from the pension fund, police pension fund, included investment expenses of $73,992, retirement benefits to the retirees of $2,837,640, refund of contributions $70,094, and then a small administrative expense for audit of $2,220. Total decreases was $2,983,946. So a net increase to the police pension fund of $709,436, with the beginning balance of $16,258,285, gives a 6/30/23 ending police pension balance of $16,967,721. The return on investment for this year was 7.2. Excuse me, I'm sorry. For fire, same sources and income, employee contributions, $359,468. City contributions, $1,046,841. West Virginia state surcharge tax, $587,680. Investment earnings and market gains, $1,009,813. For a total increase of $3,003,802. Outflows, investment expenses of $74,562, retirement benefits $2,269,041, refund of contributions $81,905, and administrative expenses $2,818 for a total outflow of $2,428,326. The net increase for fire was $575,476. Beginning balance was $13,709,149, and now a 6/30/23 ending balance of $14,284,625. The rate of return on investment for the Fireman's Fund was 6.82%. Now, in addition to those numbers that I just rattled off there is also a retirement fund created specifically for the fire and police from sales tax money. 25% goes to this fund. And as of 6/30/23, the retirement fund had a balance of $6,247,505. Within the next few weeks, we will be receiving the newest actuary valuation report from Bolton, who is the actuary for the state. This new report will provide us the 24 funding requirements, unfunded liability, funding percentage, and some other optional methods and the costs if we choose to adopt one of those. So that will be coming out, it's scheduled out before October 1st. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any, do we need to formally accept this report?
Yes.
Okay. So how about we have a motion to accept the report?
Move to accept the report.
I second.
And then, does anyone have any questions for our finance director?
I assume we'll get a copy of this.
Of the,
of the report?
of the annual report or the valuation report that's due out. I can provide the.
The numbers you just read off would be helpful just to have as a
Okay,
reference.
yeah, absolutely. I have those actually with me now, but I can provide them to City Clerk and she can distribute if that's acceptable.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Any other? Yeah, that's great. All right, if you would have us vote on accepting the report.
Yes. Deputy Mayor Buchanan,
Yes.
Bill Koecki,
Yes.
Weezy Michael,
Yes.
Danielle Trumbull,
Yes?
Dave Harshbarger,
Yes.
Brian Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Celine.
Yes. Passes unanimously. Now we're looking at consideration of approval of the 2024 City Council meeting calendar. And I think it sort of stands how it is unless someone has some kind of questions for the clerk or.
Move to approve?
Second?
Okay. Do you have any?
I will be traveling January 2nd, so I will not be here for that meeting. I just wanted to make sure that there were no other conflicts with anyone, to make sure that there would be plenty of quorum.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, not, I don't think so, but I don't know for sure.
That might be a tough one for me, and we'll deal with it when we get closer, but yeah, that's often a traveling day after the first.
I will be flying, and even if I'm back,
Good luck.
probably not.
Will you
Yeah.
be flying through the Morgantown airport?
No, we're flying internationally.
Ah.
I think as we were going through this, there's quite a few of these that fall on the Tuesday after a Monday off.
Those extended holiday breaks will be a little rough.
Yeah, you were noticing that item, that the calendar is like
Yeah, I
that.
think there's like at least 3, if not 5 of them, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good Tuesdays.
All right, well, we will keep that, I've circled that, we'll keep that under advisement as we get closer to that date. Is there anyone else that wants to comment on a particular date on this calendar?
No, I'm good. I was gonna be in Florida for a week, but that's in between, so we're good.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion?
We do.
Did we already have one?
Hmm?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
I
It gets to this
second
point
it.
of the meeting and there's been a lot of motions.
Yes.
All right, so if you would please call the roll, thank you.
Yes. Deputy Mayor Buchanan,
Yes.
Bill Koecki,
Yes.
Weezy Michael,
Yes.
Danielle Trumbull,
Yes?
Dave Harshbarger.
Yes.
Brian Butcher,
Yes.
Mayor Celine.
Yes. Passes unanimously. And now we're on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. There are a couple of items I felt I needed to update council on. One has to do with the airport. The airport's success, much of the airport's success is based on emplanements, or the number of passengers that it processes through the airport. Our goal is to hit at least 10,000 emplanements, because that increases the level of FAA contributions to the airport significantly. We receive $1 million by doing that, and it's been a number of years since we've hit that. As of the end of August, we've had 4,600 emplanements. Last year, for the entire year, we had 7,200 passenger emplanements. So our estimate is we're going to be right on course to equal last year's. You might say, well, are we growing? What's going on? And let me just say that we've had several issues we've dealt with at the airport as it relates to flights. One is pilot shortages. I don't know if you've read or been in tune with the large commercial airlines that offer significant, we're talking double-digit bonus for signing on if you're a pilot. So the smaller commuter airlines have really struggled, and ours is no different. The other part is the type of aircraft that we use. The parts, many of the parts for replacement and repair come out of Ukraine, and you can imagine what's happened with the backlog of repairs that have been necessary. So you combine that along with the pilot shortage. I think we're fortunate to be where we're at. Regardless, for approximately 3 months, we've had at least one flight cancellation per day. Most of the time, that's in the morning. And that's once again due to a crew shortage and rest issues, mandatory rest issues, and things like that. We're hoping that next year is a better year for us, and we keep trying and plugging away. Certainly, the runway extension will help improve the employment because we'll be able to bring in larger aircraft to the airport. And hopefully we're not bound by the shortage in parts that we are today. The other item that I wanted to, you received a memo late this afternoon, but I wanted to reiterate some of the information that's placed there. Our IT department has overseen the placement of approximately 24 surveillance cameras to date on Main Street, and there are 4 cameras at the waterfront park, Hazel McQueen Waterfront Park, 4 at the Met Theater. That's where the main router is, by the way, and we've kind of moved out from there as the center. 7 have been installed at 430 Spruce Street, creating a lot of security there at City Hall. 4 at High and Walnut, and 4 at High and Pleasant Street. We've started installation 4 cameras on High Street and Fayette Street intersection. Those should be in operation tomorrow. There are 26 more cameras to be installed in the downtown area. We've added a couple locations that were not initially part of this. A number of them are going to be focused on what we call hotspots. One is right there at Health Right. There are going to be a number of cameras that will go both ways down Wall Street, and as well as 2 other alleys within the downtown area, including next to the drugstore. So we're hoping that those will help not only deter crime, but will help our law enforcement folks to be able to do their jobs more efficiently. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you very
Just a
much. Yeah,
question for the
please.
city manager. With regards to the cameras, will we use those proactively so that if something's in progress, that would be used
They
to
can
go
be.
address an issue?
They're live.
But will they be monitored in such a
And
way
they will
they
be
could
monitored. They'll be monitored by our dispatch center, and can be, in fact, our IT employee, he brought it up on his camera, and you can see it live. He showed me one of the cameras. You can identify which cameras. Brought up one on High Street, and it was right there live. And so we're hoping that it'll encourage better behavior in our downtown area. That's the whole hope. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we are on to the city clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to remind you all that Heather and I will be out of the office for most of the day tomorrow. We'll be traveling to the state auditor's municipal officials and assistants training in Bridgeport. So catch us early if you need us in the office. But you can still reach out by email. We'll take care of anything you need. Just wanted to let you know we won't be there. On September 30th, the Fire Civil Service Commission will be holding an open agility open house for folks who have not applied for the fire department, but for someone who may find an interest in becoming a firefighter. As of today, we have about 22 people who will be going, and I think that's a good number. And that's still open for people if they would like to attend, just to reach out to me, and we'll get them on the list. We've been talking about Municipal Government Week, and I'm sharing these dates with you all because I'm inviting all of you to go to these events. We would love to have you. The first event is on Tuesday, and that's the Touch a Truck event, and that's at Eastwood Elementary, and that's for the students. And we have confirmed we will have a fire truck, a police cruiser, bucket truck, dump truck, a snowplow, an airport snowplow, and that's kind of cool because Director Vrabel says we have to shut down the mile ground to get it there. So that's kind of neat. I think the kids are going to enjoy it. And there are other vehicles too. So anyway, I'll send you the details when that's going to be on Tuesday. Wednesday is the mock City Council meeting, and that will be held at the Municipal Courtroom like it was last year. The MHS students, thanks to Deputy Mayor Abu Ghanem, who helped arrange it, and he's doing that again. And I can tell you that they had a fantastic time last time. One of the topics that they did vote on was whether you could share an account with Netflix. Do you remember that? And so we're seeing that now, right? So I'm sure they'll have some good topics for their city council to vote on and discuss. So I'm inviting you all to that as well. And then Thursday the 19th, Heather and I will be going around to the employees and kind of from our administration, showing them how much we appreciate them. I'm not going to tell what we're doing because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but we would love for y'all to come and be with us too, if you would like. And then I'll let Deputy Mayor Boo tell us about the other thing that he's kind of organizing for Municipal Government Week, because he has all the details. And then lastly, October 28th, there is a Police Civil Service Commission entry-level police officer exam and agility. That's still open for folks to apply, and that's a Saturday at 9 a.m. If people would like to get some more information about that, they can find the information on our website, or reach out to the clerk's office, and we'll get them the information that they need. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. We will be having a phone conference of municipal attorneys this coming week. If any council members have issues that they have heard other cities are working on and they'd like information about, or would like me to discuss with other cities, please let me know. We can discuss those. We all benefit from sharing that information, and all regularly end up calling each other with questions that council members or staff have asked about various projects or laws. So please don't hesitate to ask. And by the same or a similar token, I know you have been working with the clerk's office on scheduling legislators to come in ahead of the upcoming session to talk about legislative agenda items or just other state level initiatives to prepare for. I would be happy to help you with those, whether that is drafting or just reaching out to delegates to work with them on how to pursue those objects. So please let me know. Also, we will be conducting a special litter prevention officer training on the 27th. We'll do some fire marshals, code enforcement officers, development services director all newly designated or redesignated as litter prevention officers with citation authority under the ordinance you adopted tonight. So, not the most exciting stuff, but it'll let people get moving forward to implement that ordinance. And I think that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Report from council members? Counselor
with Counselor Kawecki.
Counselor Kawecki, would you like to start?
Actually, I have very little to say. Thank you. I just want to thank you for the accommodation. It's like going back to COVID days. But it's a little more difficult in that we're sometimes difficult to follow, but I do appreciate it. Thank you for Christine for setting it up, and thank you for your indulgence. Other than that, I have nothing else. I'll pass it along.
Thank you, Bill. Deputy Mayor Abogano?
Sure. First, thank you for Ms. Wade for staying, for encouraging me to keep going with Municipal Week. It is a lot. I always appreciate that, especially in the beginning of the school year. Things tend to get away from me. So thank you for your help with that. In addition to the kids being really excited to go down to the courthouse, which all of you are invited to come as upset citizens, myself and Councilor Trumbull last year were the upset citizens. I don't quite remember what our stances were. I think I wanted to share my passwords, if I recall.
And I did the other case, but now it's escaping me what the other case that they were.
But you can get your fist off the podium and demand answers. They're excited for that, and then today I found out and we got permission. Drew Bailey is going to come in and do a presentation to our students, my marketing students and the tourism class as well, and talk about the new logo and branding as it relates to cities and travel. This way I believe you may be attending as well, which will be fantastic for the kids to see. I got the opportunity to attend the Social Justice Fair at Ruby this past Sunday. All the days are running together. Sunday. That was fantastic. I got to hear Al Anderson from Osage, a wonderful singer. I got to watch my family as well play the steel drums and learn a little bit about all the different things around town that you can do and help out with, and the League of Women Voters getting people to sign up to vote. And then trying to remember if there was something else I was going to add to this. Oh, yes. Monday is the First Ward neighborhood meeting at Jack Roberts Park at 6 o'clock. And we also have our tree board meeting on Monday as well, as we'll be planning for Arbor Day, Morgantown's Arbor Day, which is in October. And I think I'm going to stop. Oh, last thing. I appreciate the opportunity to get the tour again of the airport, which I always love. I'm a big fan of airports. I grew up basically inside one because my dad worked for Dulles Airport for so many years. So to see our small airport grow gives me hope, and I see the benefits to something like that. And I think that everybody's doing such a great job with it. Now I will stop.
I don't have too much today for my ward, but I would like to say thank you to Tim from IT management and Kim, Emily, and everyone that was involved in helping get these cameras up. I believe this is helpful for safety of our residents, our businesses, and enforcement, and I'm very excited that this was done. So I just want to say thank you to IT. I know it's a huge job to do those cameras and get them, operational. So thank you. And that's all I have to say today.
Thank you.
I was also very excited about the cameras. We've been doing that for more than a year now, and it's good to see a more significant portion of them actually going up. First off, it's voter registration day. So if you are not sure if you're registered or if you have any changes to make to your voter's registration, go to govotewb.org and make sure that's updated and all correct for you. Yeah, I had the opportunity to attend a few interesting things over the last week or two as well. I attended a subcommittee meeting with the Greenmont Neighborhood Association about Brockway truck traffic, and we came away from that with a few action items that we as a group are working on, and we will meet again, I believe, next week, so I will hopefully have more information about that then. But they seem to have a new push towards making sure that these things are being addressed and trying to reach out to Greer and work with them and some of the contractors. So I hope that we see some movement there. Bill Austin, the director of the MMMPO, attended that meeting with us, and I think we came away with a couple of good things to start. I'm sure it's a very small start, but it's a start. I also attended the airport meeting and got to drive around all over the property out there and see a lot of the work that's being done. Last time we did the airport tour, it was just kind of an overview looking down. Now a lot more of the work has been done, so that was very interesting to me. I also last week attended a meeting for the warming shelter, and we are still in crisis with that initiative. The city has set aside some funds, the county has set aside some funds. We have no organization who has stepped up to take over that. Morgantown Community Resources has committed to making sure that the day room at Hazel's House of Hope is open at least daytime hours during the winter. Right now, we are open, for anyone that doesn't know, the Day Services Center at H3 is open 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Friday for showers and laundry service. Health Right, Christian Help, Bartlett House, different organizations are registering some of their clientele. They are accepting walk-ins as available, so that is something that is open and available, and we've committed to making sure that it is open longer hours and more days during the winter, but we're still having a hard time finding anywhere that has enough space for any type of overnight accommodations. We're meeting again next week, and then the Coalition to End Homelessness has a meeting the first week of October. We intend to bring this to them and ask what their suggestions are at that meeting. So hopefully we end up with something, but everyone just needs to be aware that it's going to be a tough winter here right now. Thanks to MUB, my son takes classes at the Mountaineer Homeschool Hub in the Woodburn Complex, and Chris Dale with MUB was kind enough to set up a field trip for that group today. We had 15 or 20 kids and their parents down there playing with a lot of, they give kids a much more interesting tour than I've ever gotten. They got to those membrane things. They let one leak air and let the kids try to plug it and fix it. I was like, Chris, I've never got to
We
do
didn't
this
get to do
before.
that.
He's like, yeah, kids like it. I was like, I would have too. So they give the kids a different tour. I just wanted to reach out to MUB and Chris Dale for setting that up for us. The kids had a great time. Speaking of things in the Woodburn complex, Empty Pockets this weekend and next weekend is doing a One Acts Festival show. That is one of their largest and most well-attended over the course of the year, so make sure to get your tickets now and early. There's a Mon Dems picnic tomorrow at 5 p.m. at Krebs Park. They're going to have a few of our delegates there and a few candidates for office, so if you're looking to meet Steve Williams from Huntington, who is running for governor, or Joey Garcia from Fairmont, who's running to be one of our state senators, that's a good place to get to meet them. And the last thing I wanted to mention was the Morgantown Hockey Association Blades are having a fundraiser this Sunday, the 24th at 11 a.m. at Levels downtown. I believe it's a $10 open play cover, and that goes to benefit the hockey team. So I think that's all.
Thank you.
The Morgantown Utility Board, we postponed our meeting this month. It's going to be this Thursday at 5:30. And apologies, Emily, that he showed up and no one was there.
It's a shorter meeting than I would.
But if you do have any items, please let me know. I'd be happy to bring them up at the meeting this Thursday. The Mon River Trail Conservancy, we have not had a half marathon in a year due to bus logistics and the costs with that. And the largest fundraiser has become a bike ride called the Century Ride, where a number of riders cover the entire course of 100 miles on the rail trail. And you can donate, pledge towards those riders per mile. And that's going to take place between October 14th and the 22nd, where they will pick a day during that window and ride the entire rail trail, raising money for our rail trails.
Have the riders volunteered yet? Do you know who the riders will be?
Typically, there's a handful, like Christian Abilso
Yeah.
kind of heads that up, and then Colin from Walmsley, Mark Glass has ridden. I'm not sure who all the riders will be this year. Usually it's about 6 to 8 is kind of what we shoot for. So, there's been some discussion about how to address the Japanese knotweed along Deckers Creek, and I had a chance to talk with Zach Fowler of the Arboretum, because they deal with it as well. And his suggestion was, at this point in the game, our best bet is to just cut it down, remove it as a barrier, and then wait and herbicide it next year. And the best way to herbicide it, not the labor-intensive way, but is to let it grow until June, cut it down in June, just let it be, and then cut it down one more time in early September, late August, and then herbicide it. And so that, so I can share those recommendations with you, but bottom line is, for this year, that it probably isn't worth the money to herbicide it, that we'd probably be better off just cutting it down and getting rid of that visual. So that was the recommendation. And we had a South Hills picnic a week ago Sunday that was really fun. We had about 70, 80 residents attend that, and the mayor was able to stop by, Councilor Kowecki, so good time as always. And I had an opportunity to tour the airport with Councilor Michael in Trumbull, and that, yeah, it was amazing how much has been done and how much property is out there with the additional purchase that we've secured. So impressive project. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Butcher?
So we have September 28th at 7 p.m. Suncrest Neighborhood Meeting. I think they still are trying to decide a location for that meeting, but once I know that, I'm sure they will update us and we'll let you know. October 27th, we will finally have the Pride Parade. And then the 28th, the day afterwards, we'll be doing Homecoming Out, which is the like LGBTQ affirming dance for high school students. You're talking 8th grade now.
What's that date, Brian?
28th. And it'll be at Morgantown Art Party for that one. Last week, I attended the WVU Board of Governors meeting. There was a 3-hour public comment session on the cuts being made to WVU. I spoke towards the very end, given my place just in the signups. It was pretty disturbing and heart-wrenching to see all the faculty and students that are to be affected by these cuts, and the next day, the kind of just indiscriminate ramrod through of the final recommendations. So that was fairly disheartening. It looks like more recommendations are coming for cuts. The LGBTQ center, the libraries, I guess, already have their recommendation, which is an $800,000 reduction of library at the libraries. Part of that assessment, I guess, was already finding that the libraries were understaffed, but yet they've recommended another $800,000 reduction. Several other programs, such as WVU Press, which, if you've been here long enough, they do a lot of great things. The STEM Center, our Center for Veterans, Military, and Family Programs, Career Services, Global Affairs, Accessibility Services, all looking at under review. There's several other programs you can find online. That's all to say, it's not close to being over. And these cuts obviously haven't taken, the initial round of cuts haven't taken effect, but these programs that are up that are student support are not available to be appealed. So anything that might happen to a lot of these programs that I know a lot of us on council have interacted with are just final cuts and, can really affect our community going forward. So I hope that we can have some better dialogue with the administration going forward as a community, so that we can see at least some form of course correction going forward, because it's kind of horrifying at this point. But that concludes my report for today. Thank you.
I wanted to mention that the city manager and I met briefly with the superintendent of schools and the president of the school board on site at Suncrest Primary School, and it was regarding last spring's vote by the school board to take down the Suncrest Primary School, which is currently not being used by the school system, and kind of what happens after that. So the neighborhood at the next neighborhood meeting at the end of this month is going to discuss some of the things, some of the hopes that they have for that property. But basically, the current plan is to take down the school and then make the property into a grassy area and put some picnic shelters on there. And the city manager and I suggested that the neighborhood would likely like more, and that we would be glad to partner on possibly writing grants or whatever else was needed to kind of upgrade that idea. The future plan for that property by the school board and the school system is possibly for a preschool building, a preschool center. But for right now, the idea is to take down the current structure and make the property into a grassy area that people can enjoy. My understanding of the deed of the property is that it needs to be used for educational or recreational purposes. So, and the neighborhood association is aware of that. So it's kind of a moment when we can hopefully discuss back and forth with the school district about how that property will be going into the future, so that it can be used by the neighbors while it's potentially waiting for another educational use. So like a recreational use while we're waiting for another possible education use, pardon. So I've enjoyed a number of things over the last couple of weeks and attended numerous meetings and heard from my fellow council people about initiatives in the downtown and in the neighborhoods, and I look forward to continuing our work and working with our management and our community to continue making our city better. And I sure do appreciate those cameras, so thank you all. And thank the clerk for working on our municipal week.
Mayor, can I mention one more thing before we adjourn?
Absolutely.
I forgot. I'm a terrible planning commission member. The planning commission on Thursday at 6:30 here in the commission chambers is holding a public hearing on the comprehensive plan update. So I was supposed to mention that.
And
6:30.
So
We will get a
people-
half an hour presentation from the consultant who worked, and then we will have the public hearing.
And for people to know, this is our 10-year comprehensive plan, happens every 10 years, and is very important for our community as a route forward. So,
Sorry, when was that?
Thursday, the 21st? Is that?
Oh, this Thursday, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
21st, public hearing. All right.
Oh, you're the mother.
Sorry.
Well, yes. Are you moving or you're moving?
I think we're all moving.
We're all
All
moving.
right, we're all
Moving to adjourn.
moving. Joe firsted, Weezy seconded. Here we go. Thank you.
You stand adjourned.
We're adjourned. Without smacking.